Unit 10. The Online Generation. Lesson 1. Spending Time Online. Page 44. Exercise 1. Look at the pictures. Read and listen to the words.
Have an account. Look at a screen. Private. Send friend requests. Change settings. Upload video.
Lesson 1. Spending Time Online. Page 45. Exercise 3. Read and listen to the blog posts. Who do you think wrote each one?
Research shows that some teenagers spend a massive 8.5 hours looking at a screen every day. This huge amount of time doesn't even include the time teenagers look at screens when they do their homework. About 95% of teenagers have cell phones, but this was a tiny 23% in 2011. My teenage children have their own cell phones with their own accounts. I get a message every time they want to download an app or buy something from a game. I click, and then they can do it. I notice that my children often find it difficult to put their phones down and do something else. I always ask them if they want to come for a walk with me in the afternoon without their phones, so they can do something else instead. Looking at photos of other people's best moments can make teenagers feel like their normal lives are boring, too.
My dad thinks I spend too much time gaming. He changed the settings on my laptop so that it turns itself off after 1 hour. I understand that gaming can be bad for you if you can't stop doing it, but that's not what I'm like. I still enjoy going out and playing sports with my friends, and I'm not even on social media. Some of my friends spend all their time on social media. They think it's great. Their accounts aren't private, and they're always sending friend requests to people they don't know. That's dangerous because these people could be adults and not teenagers at all. There are also teenagers I know who spend so much time making and uploading videos where they just look at the camera and make funny faces. I think that's terrible and much worse than playing games where you learn how to do things.
Lesson 2. The Effects of Artificial Intelligence. Page 46. Exercise 2. Read and listen to the article. Match the words to the definitions.
The future is already here. Artificial intelligence, or AI for short, is a type of technology that helps computer systems to do tasks that usually only humans can do, such as making decisions or solving problems. If you use streaming platforms to watch movies or TV shows, you are using AI. The streaming platform uses algorithms to learn what types of movies or TV shows you like to watch. If you enter data by choosing movies, the algorithms learn what you like from that data. The platform then uses what it learned to personalize your homepage on the platform with suggestions for similar movies and TV shows. If you watch a lot of science fiction movies, the streaming platform shows you suggestions for other science fiction movies to watch. This is called machine learning because it's a process where technology learns things and then uses what it learns to help people. The same thing happens with online shopping. If you shop online, AI learns and remembers what you like to buy. Then you see advertisements for similar clothes when you go online or use social media. In New Zealand, some primary school children are learning about the environment and renewable energy from the world's first AI teacher called Will. When teachers use technology in the classroom, students are usually more interested in learning. But Will is technology that looks and behaves like a real human. When students see him for the first time, they think he is real. If children ask Will a question, he gives an answer. He can also understand the expressions on students' faces. If students smile at Will, he smiles back. If students don't understand something, Will helps them. Some people think that AI encourages us to spend more time online because of its suggestions for more things we can watch or listen to. But AI can also make learning fun and make our lives easier. Surely that isn't such a bad thing?
Lesson 3. Evaluating Pros and Cons. Page 48. Exercise 5. Listen to the first part of the conversation between the dad and son who made the chart in Exercise 4 and check your answers.
So, you want me to buy you this expensive new phone for your birthday?
That's right.
Do you really think that's a good idea? We should think about this carefully before I make a decision.
Okay.
Lesson 3. Evaluating Pros and Cons. Page 48. Exercise 6. Listen to the whole conversation. Complete the chart with the information you hear.
So, you want me to buy you this expensive new phone for your birthday?
That's right.
Do you really think that's a good idea? We should think about this carefully before I make a decision.
Okay.
Let's make a list of the pros and cons of buying this phone in a chart. We'll start with the pros.
The new phone looks better than my old phone. That's the first pro. It's also the same phone that my two best friends have, and I want to have the same phone as them.
Are there any other pros?
Yes. The third pro is that I could take better photos with the new phone because it's got a better camera.
Okay. Now for the cons of buying the new phone. It's very expensive, so you wouldn't get any other presents from us at all this year.
Ugh.
Another con is that you'll spend more time looking at a screen if we buy you this phone. And breaking or losing the phone would be terrible because it's so special and expensive.
Okay, now we have 3 pros and 3 cons. What do we do next?
We give each pro and con a value from 1 to 10 to show how important we think they are.
Okay. It looks good, 7 points. It's the same as my friend's phones, 5 points. It has a better camera, 8 points.
Now, I'll do the cons. It's very expensive, 9 points. You'll spend more time looking at a screen, 8 points. It would be terrible to break or lose it, 5 points, because I don't think you'll break or lose it. So, if you add all the values for the pros together, you get 20 points. If you add all the cons together, you get 22 points. 22 points is more than 20 points, so there are more cons than pros.
So, you aren't going to buy me the new phone?
That's right. Maybe when you're a bit older.
Lesson 4. Bad Habits. Page 50. Exercise 3. Listen to the interview. Check your answer from exercise 2.
Today, I'm talking to Dr. Amal about a new study about internet use and its effects on the teenage brain. Could you give us some more details about the study, Dr. Amal?
Hello, Soha. Yes, sure. Well, the study followed nearly 250 teenagers over 10 years to find out how much time they spent online and what effects that had on their brains.
And what were the main findings of this study?
The study found that using the internet too much had become a bad habit for some of the teenagers.
What exactly do you mean by it had become a bad habit? Was using the internet having negative effects on them?
I mean that they were using the internet for hours every day, and they couldn't stop doing it. They were addicted to the internet.
That doesn't sound very good at all.
No, it isn't. If you are addicted to something, your brain releases chemicals that make you feel happy when you do it. That's why it's hard to stop doing it.
But then you might only feel good when you're doing that activity, like using the internet.
Exactly. The study shows that this addiction to the internet amongst teenagers has a negative effect on the part of the teenage brain that manages decision-making and how you behave.
Okay, so you might behave differently to normal or make bad decisions.
Yes, teenagers who are addicted to the internet find it hard to talk to others and communicate with parents and other adults. Also, internet addiction can cause teenagers to have bad sleeping and eating habits. If you're not sleeping enough or eating healthy food, that also has a bad effect on your health and well-being.
Is it possible for students to get back to normal after becoming addicted to the internet?
The research tells us that that's possible, yes. If teenagers who are addicted to the internet use their devices less often, their sleep and health will improve.
So, what advice would you give to teenagers who think they could be addicted to the internet?
If you only spend 1 or 2 hours online a day, you'll slowly become less addicted to the internet. You'll have more time to see your friends in real life and go outside and do something fun. That will make you feel better too.
Dr. Amal, thank you very much for talking to us.
Lesson 5. Literature. Page 52. Exercise 2. Read and listen to the story. Check your answers to exercise 1.
Meeting Rana. Today, I watched a Paralympic sports event. These are sports for people with a disability. There was the final of the wheelchair tennis, and an Egyptian girl won. She was so fast. The next day, I was very surprised because I saw the tennis player in the wheelchair. I was with some friends in a cafe, and she was at the next table. I watched you win your tennis game yesterday, I said to her. What an achievement! You were amazing. Thank you, said Rana. She looked at me and said, Do you play tennis too? No. I laughed because I too used a wheelchair. I couldn't walk after I had a sickness when I was a child. Don't laugh, said Rana. You can play tennis like me if you want. I can help you. Then Rana told me her story. She was always good at sports, and she was very good at tennis. Don't play tennis against Rana, her older sister Malek always said. If I play her, I lose every time. She's so good. Rana liked to play tennis after school and on the weekends. I think she'll play at Wimbledon one day, said her father. Or perhaps she'll join the Egyptian Olympic team, said her mother. One day, something terrible happened. Rana was crossing the road when a car hit her. She had to go to hospital for many weeks. I'm sorry, but you won't walk again, Rana, said the doctor. You'll have to use a wheelchair. Rana was very sad. It took her a long time to understand that although she could not walk, she could do many things. Her father told her about wheelchair tennis, and soon she was playing the sport every week. A year later, she joined the Paralympic tennis team, and now she was a champion. And that was when I saw her. If you want to play tennis, don't let your wheelchair stop you, Rana said. Now, I'm playing wheelchair tennis every week, too. Perhaps one day, I'll join a Paralympic tennis team, like Rana.
Lesson 6. Writing. Page 54. Exercise 2. Read and listen to Amani's reflective journal entry about her digital habits. What does Amani think about the digital habit in the photograph?
This week at school, we're talking about digital habits. I thought about how, when, and how often I use digital technology, and I realized that my digital habits are quite good. For example, I never watch videos or look at my phone for too long in the evening. I usually read a book in the hour before I go to bed instead, to give my eyes a rest from looking at a screen. I also don't spend too much time looking at a screen during the day either. It's usually 1.5 hours a day. That's enough time to reply to messages from friends when I relax after school, but it isn't too much time. I have one bad digital habit, though. I sometimes look at other people's photos on social media and compare myself to them. I know that you only see the highlights on people's social media profiles, but sometimes looking at these profiles makes me feel like I'm not good enough. I'm going to stop looking at other people's profiles and comparing myself to them from now on.